Hey everyone, welcome back. Welcome home to Autumn's backyard garden. It feels so great to be home. I got an email from YouTube saying that they're giving me my channel back after 2 years, and I am I'm elated. I am excited, and it just feels amazing. My prayers have been answered, and I I have so much that I want to say, but I'm just excited to be back. I still have my other channel, ABG Prepping. Um, and I have my Patreon channel. The link is in the description box below, and the ABG Prepping link is in the description box below as well. Um, y'all know me, okay? My name is Autumn, and if you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? um, Grab your coffee, grab your snacks, and let's get into it, shall we? So I didn't know a lot about this, but then again, I don't buy high-end products. I do know a lot of people who do, but I don't. One, I can't afford it. But China, they are protesting the tariffs, okay, the 145% tariffs that were put on them by exposing the most popular American brands by putting up videos on social media. And China has confirmed that over 80% of the luxury items that are purchased for tens of thousands of dollars are manufactured in China and then packaged in the US. China's media is flooding social media, like I said, with videos of luxury brands made in China. It might work short term to protect China's manufacturing. Factories in China are now encouraging people to buy direct from the factories themselves. Yeah.
I will tell you 30 luxury brands. Some of their products are made in China. Ralph Lauren, Armani, Nike, Dior, Lululemon, Apple, Michael Kors, Coach, Calvin Klein, Prada, Celine, Swarovski, Adidas, The North Face, Rimowa, Levi's, Burberry, Versace, Chanel, Cartier, Ferragamo, Timberland, Yves Saint Laurent, Victoria's Secret, Puma, Uniqlo, Disney, Max Mara, Givenchy. The producing cost is only 1/10 of its price. Can you believe it?
Even with, like I said, the 145% tariff, you will still pay a lot less for identical Western luxury brand items made by their factories in China. That is, if you still want to buy them, but a lot of people who are what they call bougie will still want to get their hands on them regardless of where they come from, you know?
Want to know who's the Chinese factory behind Nike, Adidas, Fila, and UGG? Number one, the biggest factory for Nike shoes in China is called FJF Group. They're located in China, Fujian. FJF is also China's biggest shoe factory. Second, the factory behind Adidas shoes is Baocheng Group in China. Baocheng Group has factories in China and in Southeast Asia. Number three, the factory behind UGG in China is called Henglong Group in Henan. Henglong Group is also the biggest factory of UGG shoes in the entire world. And number four, the factory behind Fila Group in China is called Shentai Group, and they're located in Zhejiang, China.
So did you know that 80% of the made in Italy, like Gucci products, are made in China? And the Chinese are exposing all of this. And honestly, I'm here for it because a lot of women, they walk around with their Gucci and their Prada and their Louis Vuitton and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, I got my purse on Amazon for $9.99. You know what I mean? Because I don't care, you know? And like I said, I actually feel sorry for the materialistic people that prioritize designer this, designer that, because you know what? They've been getting robbed this whole time.
Your made in Italy Gucci 80% come from Chinese factory. They just add the logo in Europe to make you pay the price of 10 times. Close your eyes. If your hammer says made in China, does it feel cheaper? No, that's not quality issue. It's luxury brand washing. Fun fact, the hand stitching your product, 42% are Chinese artisans. We don't do cheap, we do underrated luxury. Why pay 2,000 euro for Parisian air? Same leather, same craft, just without the European fairy tale facts.
Now, like I said, 80% of Gucci is made in China. Hermes bags, have you ever heard of Hermes? Hermes? Those purses cost about $1,000. $1,000. Imagine that.
This is why this bag from our factory only costs you 1,000 USD.
Have y'all seen that TikTok by the Chinese guy exposing how luxury goods are actually made? Basically, he says most of the luxury brands we use every day are actually made in China, then shipped to Europe just to get rebranded and sold back to us at insane prices. Like a wedding ring that would cost $2 in China somehow turns into a $2,000 ring. China is the world's biggest manufacturing hub. 80% of your Gucci, made in China. 60% of your Prada, also made in China. Even Chanel, Fendi, Louis Vuitton, Adidas, Nike, you name it. The only real difference? China ships the products to Europe, slaps on a Made in France or Made in Italy label, and boom. Luxury? It's ridiculous. While people are out here clowning Shein and Temu for being cheap and low quality, the expensive stuff you think is handcrafted in Paris or Milan? Yeah, that's made in China too. So what are you really worried about? Come on, your mega hat? That's made in China too.
Now, luxury bags, all made in China. You're just paying extra for the label that comes on the bag that claims that it's made in France or made in Italy or what. Okay, but it's actually made in the same sweatshops that, like I was talking about, what was it, 2 days ago, Nike, right? You buy Nike sneaks, they're making them for $3 and selling them for $150. So there's that.
Some say as long as there's a tag saying made in China, the bag can never be luxury. However, in fact, more than 80% of the luxury bags in the world are made in China. But those luxury brands just won't acknowledge that. They take almost finished bags from China factories back to their own factories and just do the repackaging and logo installing, something like that. That way, the bags will appear at their boutiques as made in Italy or made in France. You know, those sophisticated European countries, which make you feel mysterious, royal, and thus luxury. Now, close your eyes. Let's just do a little very easy experiment in your head, okay? Imagine that you have an Hermes bag, and suddenly the label on it changed from made in France into made in China, while everything else, like leathers, zippers, and hardware, remain the same. Do you suddenly feel that your bag is not as luxury as before? If you do, that means you have been misled and poisoned by the market campaign of those luxury brands for too long. Welcome to the real world. Now you see, those bags are made in China by our intelligent and diligent Chinese artisans. Let's not be poisoned and misled by the market campaign any longer and be a real person. Buy a bag from us, from our factory in China. See the real world for yourself.
So if everyone realizes that Louis Vuitton and Dior were just rebranded, then Shenzhen products, the illusion of the luxury dies, wouldn't you think?
You know who is producing high quality accessories for those luxury brands like Chanel, Estee Lauder, L'Oreal? You're saying you're the supplier behind all these beauty accessories for those big luxury brands? La Freya, MAC, Chanel, Bobbi Brown, and even Rosewood Hotel.
Last week we also received an order, Loistan. Yeah, the comb like 20,000.
Look at all,
This one
like,
color.
now show me your factory, show me the production line.
Here, this is our cutting room. So you can see the machine. Here, color clip and the hair comb there. After cutting, we can take the color clips out like this. Here's our molding area. Take off the plate. After make the mold, mold the shape so we can upselling glue the spring and the flower accessories.
This is like the final touch up. You have
Yeah.
to polish and
Polish.
like it.
Yeah,
There's
any
very,
defective. Yeah,
quality
part.
control.
Here's our coating plate. On the surface, we will spray a draw effect. Here's our painting plate. Here is one of our warehouse. Here is our material area. All the acetate board we have ordered here.
So tell me, what is this? This is like PVC or acrylic?
Acetate material. The material is eco-friendly and more durable and flexible than PVC or acrylic materials.
Oh.
It's the most expensive material.
How
in the world.
expensive?
For this one, for example, this one like 50 RMB one piece.
One piece, 50
Yeah,
RMB.
50 RMB.
That's
And
the
then,
cost of it.
yeah,
So you remember all the hoopla and the hype. What was it? Was it last year or was it the year before? I can't remember now. The Stanley Cups. Remember, everybody was going crazy. I have to have a Stanley Cup. Remember? Those expensive Stanley Cups for $40, $50, $60. They're made in China. And they're sold for really, really cheap. Xi Jinping is fighting everyone. Okay? I mean, it's almost like it's funny. It's a joke. The Stanley Cups that we're spending $40, $50, $60 over here in Targets, you could buy the same Stanley Cup over there, probably $2.
Hello, this is the best friend, your best supplier from China, Leo. Today I want to show you the stainless stuff. Follow my camera. As you can see, the stainless stuff here, all available stuff. And here is the stainless bag, the lunch bag. As you can see, there are 4 or 5 colors. This is the original packaging. It's original packaging. When you receive the stuff, it's original. Everything is like this. They open this. Check the quality. Is this how strong the quality? Let me show you everything up here. You don't need to worry about the quality. I will check the quality before I ship to you. How it fits. Nice and perfect.
It's all a part of a plan. You should know that by now. All right. But now you know why they never wanted you to know what really went on over there. China is exposing how these designer brands are really made in China with cheap material and cheap labor. But you buy for big bucks, 10, 50, 100 times the price. They're making these bags for 50 cents, $1, $2, $3, but they're selling them over here for 1,000. This, all right. What I'm going to show you next is so eye-opening, especially when it comes to the tariffs, okay? Especially when they're broken down like how they're going to be broken down for you just now. Okay, it seems that the people over on that side, they should be happy about this, okay? That corporations are made to pay their fair share since they are so anti-capitalism. Because the only reason why they are opposed to tariffs is because this president and this administration is implementing them.
Chinese producers are all over social media right now, and they're exposing just who is targeted by Trump's tariffs. And it's not the American consumers, and it's not the Chinese producers.
It's actually our international corporations who have sold out American prosperity for their own profits. Let me illustrate. Let's use this example at Nike. Now, these are fictitious numbers just for example, but let's say that Nike buys shoes from this company that manufactures Nike shoes for $10 a Nike shoe, which isn't very far off. Nike turns around and sells that shoe at retail for $100. Here's the interesting part about tariffs. You're not paying tariffs on the retail price. This is not a tax in the classic sense. The way the economists who are bought and paid for are trying to conflate it as. It is a tax on the import. This means with a 25% tariff, Nike's going to have to pay $2.50 to the US government every time it imports a Nike shoe at $10. So this $2.50 gets remitted to the American government, to American citizens. Now Nike's cost $10 for the shoe, $2.50 for the import tax. This means they're netting $87 per shoe. Now that's net, not profit. There are going to be other costs that are going to have to come from that. But you can see that the increase in cost is $2.50. So let's say that Nike passes the entire cost onto the consumer, even a little more just because of the fear of tariffs. $103 a shoe now. That is the impact of a 25% tariff. So what the Chinese producers on TikTok are saying, instead of the American consumer buying it for $103, or let's just say that the company Nike eats all $2.50 of the tariff and still sells it for $100, you're way better off over here, paying directly to China, including the tariff, $12.50 a shoe plus shipping. So as you can see, the tariffs are not meant to hurt consumers. They're not meant to hurt China. They don't really affect China at all. They're meant to protect American industry. They're meant to protect Americans from their corporations who will sell them out for a profit. So if you look hard, you'll notice that the people who are screaming about how bad tariffs are for consumers, it's these companies right here. It's Wall Street. It's all the investors in these companies because they don't want American citizens to realize these companies have sold them out and that they're not doing Americans any favors.
So, made in China is why our appliances only last 2 years, right? Made in China is why everything we own is cheap junk. Made in America will end all these problems. Made in America will make America healthy and wealthy again. I hope everybody realizes that. All right, y'all, I'm out of here. All right. I will see you in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping. And as always, fear less and welcome home.